Hey guys, it's Bella, the Maker Mama boss lady behind Bella's Custom Crochets, and today we're doing something a little different. I'm going to take you on, pointing awkwardly, a stash tour of all of the yarn I currently have in stash. If you want to see my entire yarn space office yarn room, I do have a tour of that on the channel as well. I think I filmed that back in January or so. It's now beginning of August of 2020, and we're starting to pack up things in this room because we're going to be doing some renovation. We're going to get rid of that horrible wallpaper, horrible blue wall, horrible blue rug, and the windows that are screwed shut from the outside. So we're going to be doing some improvement on this room in the next couple months. First, my husband's going to move his office in here so we can redo his office. It's going to be a whole thing. Eventually, there will be another yarn room tour. But for right now, I'm going to walk you through the yarn that I currently have in stash. I will say I'm not quite a minimalist, but I'm not a hoarder, somewhere in between. In general in life, I don't like excess, especially excess with no purpose. So all the yarn that I have is pretty much assigned to a project or a design. And the excess that I do have is scrap. I have a lot of scrap yarn because I don't like to waste. I'm a complicated lady. I don't know. Let me know, do you guys have a ton of yarn? Do you buy impulse yarn? Do you hoard the yarn? Do you only buy some of the yarn? Box store yarn, hand-dyed yarn? Tell me about your yarn stash. Comment below. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the yarn that I have real quick, and then I will grab the more interesting skeins, put them out at my desk, and we'll talk about them there. So without further ado, Yarn Stash Tour 2020. Here we go. Okay, so it's always awkward to film. I don't have like a selfie stick, so it's tricky to hold the camera. I'll try and not get too much shake. But this is my main new skeins of yarn shelf. You can see it's not super full right now. Originally last year it was full of this Lion brand Color Made Easy, which is a 100% acrylic bulky weight yarn. I really like it. It's what I based most of my crochet line off of last year. I had tons and tons of all of the jewel toned colors that it comes in. I really like the bright saturated colors, and yeah, I used a ton to make all my hats, cowls, and all of that for markets last year, but hello, it's 2020 and there's not a lot of markets going on. Oh, hi, tiny cat. So that's what I have left of that. You're not supposed to be in here. You snuck. So yeah, I don't, in my own designs and wardrobe, I don't use a ton of bulky, but it's great for market stuff. My Puff and Pom beanie, available in my shop, is my most popular seller, and this is great for that pattern. And then let's see, we'll go this way. Over here, this is some weird yarn that I bought impulsively. Oop, I knocked it all over. Pick that up, cat. This is by Lang Yarns, Wool Addicts. It is, I believe, a mostly cotton. The labels are weird. Mercerized, made in Italy. Pretty sure it's 100% or close to it cotton. Also a bulky weight, or maybe a really heavy worsted Aran weight. I thought I was going to do a top in this, and then I decided I actually didn't want a summer tank top in bulky weight. And then I was going to do a bag in it, and then I actually did nothing in it. So I may end up destashing it. It's really beautiful. I like to look at it, but again, it's been sitting here for over a year at this point, and I haven't used it. So I might be destashing those. This is my scrap, mostly fingering, a little bit of DK. Everything is falling. Everything is falling. Leftovers that I use for scrappy projects. Now the cat is going to try and climb into the shelf. Cat. I do have more over here that I've pulled out for a scrappy sock project. But that's just, leftovers, mostly. Hi. I'm not petting you. Should I be petting you some more? Oh, she's going to put on all the moves, guys. Princessa, I'm trying to film a video. This is Princess Buttercup, guys. She's being needy. Can I pet you when I'm done with the video? Okay. Over here, we'll pull these out and talk about them more in depth because these are the more interesting hand-dyed skeins. Oh my goodness, cat, now she's rubbing her butt in my face. I'll pull those out and talk about them on my desk in a couple minutes. Up here, I'm going to stand on a stool now, hopefully not fall off. These are the bulky, super bulky-ish weights that I have. I got these at a thrift store, planning on making a sweater for my daughter, hat for my daughter for the winter. Again, not a lot of bulky things in my life. This is mostly leftover, what is it? Fair Isle Harbor yarn, but it's pretty much what I have as far as a cotton bamboo stash. Not a lot there. Oh my goodness, this cat though, guys. Up here is another hand-dyed keep away from the baby and the cat basket, because they all up in the business. I'll take those out and talk about them in a minute. And then that is another of the really special skeins. Getting down off of the stool. There's a cat. And then this dresser used to be all 5 drawers were organized by color for when I was doing amigurumi and kids hats. I had a ton of worsted weight acrylic. Most of that now has ended up in my lockdown blanket. We talk about it on the podcast all the time. But that's used up a ton, and now I'm down to 3 drawers. So I will show you, this is all just still color organized, but they don't get their own individual drawers of worsted weight acrylics, which I don't use a ton of anymore, so I'm trying to use it up. I did pack up an entire box of acrylics and worsted and bulky yarns for my mom and sisters over the weekend. Just trying to get rid of a lot. As you can see, it's mostly scrap, so there's not really enough in here to make any one individual project in a solid color. And then, yeah. So that's the scrappy bits. This drawer down here is empty. The drawer down there is also broken. I pulled baskets off the wall because we're going to be clearing out the room. And then this drawer up here is all supplies and a cat. Can you tell she doesn't normally get to come in here and hang out, and she's just all excited about it? These are the larger scraps of fingering weight left over that I can use for majority of sock projects, so not quite as scrappy. And then these are, this one I need to finish caking, this guy here. I already caked up one, that's my avocado dyed yarn. Gonna be doing a sweater for my daughter in that next. And then these are all cottons and linens and other summery weight things. So that is the sum total of the yarn stash. Down here I have a bin of de-stash. So you'll be seeing that eventually. And then if anybody needs a whole bunch of color made easy scraps, not full skeins, but lots of it, hit me up because I got lots. Okay, now we'll do the fancy yarn tour. Okay, so I have removed the cat from the room because otherwise she's going to be lolloping all over my yarns. And I've taken the yarns that were in the cubby out of the cubby space, and I'm going to walk you through those now and what projects they are ultimately going to end up becoming, hopefully soon. So this pile here is all for the, I believe it's the Le Pouf. I don't know, my accent is terrible, but it's a puff sleeve marled fade sweater by, I think, Hedgehog Fibers, and I believe it's free on her website. It might be paid, I don't remember. But it's a definitely fall winter type sweater, big old puffy sleeves. So I'm going to be knitting that. That is a knit pattern, and it's going to be entirely for selfish purposes. So I'm planning on casting that on as the weather cools down because it's just too much sweater to be hauling about with me. Not that I'm really going anywhere right now. Lane and Lotus is a Connecticut local dyer. I'm not going to tell you each individual color of yarn, but I'm going to tell you the dyers, and we'll try and link shops down below. So that's Lane and Lotus. These 4 are from Whip Yarn off of Etsy. My mother-in-law got this fade kit for me as a Christmas or birthday gift, I don't remember, at my request. And then Silver Key Stitches is another Connecticut local dyer. So ultimately these are all going to be marley faded into each other, and I will obviously have quite a bit of excess because it's not going to take me 6 skeins of yarn to make a sweater to fit me. So hopefully I'll be able to do some fun scrappy stuff with that after. All right, let me slide these over, and then we'll bring into your focus this small Fiber for the People hoard. So these are all Taylor Earl. Fiber for the People is probably my favorite dyer and podcaster and vlogger and Instagrammer and everything. Fangirl hard. These are all Lucky Strikes, so they're one-of-a-kind colors that she makes out of excess dye particles that like fall onto her desk or her workstation, I guess, or her spoons or her pots. So she just uses up any excess that she has. This one is mohair. This one is her 80-10-10 base. And this one is just superwash, extra fine merino. So I'm planning on doing a shawl. I've not worked with mohair before. I'm a little nervous about it. I kind of need to get my ducks in a row because you can't really frog mohair. So this is something that, again, fall project because mohair. So that'll be coming at you, hopefully fall, winter. I have literally no idea what the shawl is going to be. I just know that I want those 3 to be together. And then this week she posted that the next update is going to have licorice in it, which is basically a color that has all 3 of these, like, plus black and white in it. And I'm like, do I need a 4th skein for this shawl? Probably not. Could I work it in? Probably yes. So we'll see if I get some of that in the next update. All right, let me slide these over. These two are left over from my hand dyeing adventures last year. This one was dyed with turmeric, I think. And then this one is dyed with coffee. And I do not have a purpose for them at the moment, but I think two purposeless skeins is probably excusable. I think it's Maruma yarns on Etsy. I am not entirely sure if she dyes these or not, because I know that her Etsy shop also has some like Malabrigo and then some tools and stuff in it, so I'm not sure if maybe she's purchasing the yarn wholesale and reselling it, because I know she has the option to purchase it in cones or cakes or skeins or hanks or minis, so I'm not sure if she dyed these or not. I believe she's out of Latvia, if I remember correctly, but these were a really good deal on Etsy, and I'm planning on, at least with this batch here, those guys, making a herringbone, kind of, again, marled, faded cowl come winter as a design, but I'm not sure. Originally it was going to be a shawl, but it was supposed to be fingering weight, but I feel like it's kind of heavy for a fingering weight. I guess it's kind of fingering weight, but it's so woolly. It's hard when you're buying online to tell what the yarn is, especially if you're buying yarn from Latvia. Obviously I can't go there and feel the yarn. So absolutely gorgeous colors. It is, I believe it was sold as merino and Donegal tweed, but it feels more like just straight wool. I wouldn't say that this feels like merino to me. So maybe I misunderstood something, or maybe I'm completely wrong and misquoting it, but it's a single ply, and I absolutely love the colors, and her pricing is insanely good, like actually too good. So I'm assuming it's not hand dyed and that she's just wholesale reselling it. But if you are looking for, she has minis, whole skeins, all of that. This is some sort of Irish Donegal, I think. But yeah, I thought it would be really pretty as a cowl. It's just a little more woolly than I was expecting, so I'm gonna definitely wait until, midwinter on that. Okay, so I'm gonna put these back in the cubby, and then I'm gonna grab down those two hanging baskets, and we'll walk you through that. So I've grabbed down the two hanging baskets. These are like, I think they might be like porch planter baskets. My mom thrifted them for me somewhere. I'm planning on painting them black eventually, but you could buy like hanging fruit baskets for the same effect as well. I just like these because it's really nice to put yarn that I definitely don't want my toddler or my cats touching. This basket is kind of more, I don't know what I'm doing with it, but it's really beautiful. So this is probably the most selfish stash bits that I have. This is a skein of Mad Fuzzy that I got. We went to the Boston Farm and Fiber Festival for my birthday. Again, it is woollier than I am used to, so I can't decide what I want to do with it. But it is spun and dyed in Maine by Marta, who has a podcast as well. And it's just a really, really beautiful color, and I love how it matches her logo. But I am not the greatest with a woolly wool, so I have not decided if this is going to stay or what it's going to be becoming, but it's beautiful. Another beautiful, but I have no idea what to do with it, skein of really wooliness is this skein from Jenny Field Fiber. Jenny Fields, I apologize, Jenny. But she is another Connecticut. She is mostly a spinner. I think she occasionally sells the yarn that she spins, but she dyes like locks and stuff for other spinners to purchase in her Etsy shop. And I think occasionally, a couple times a year, she does a fair or two. But this I got in a Connecticut, the Nutmeg Collective that I'm part of, Christmas and July swap or something. So I got this as a gift. No idea what to do with it. Art yarn really confuses me. As you can tell, I'm not big on bulky, super bulky type yarn, and this is such a small amount. How many yards? 68 yards. I have no idea what to do with 68 yards of beautiful purple wool yarn. But it's absolutely colors that I love. Purple and gold. Oh, yes. So that's been hanging out in my stash for a bit because I just don't know what to do with it, but it's so pretty. So I'll move these over. This is I got it on sale bit of Malabrigo. The color is Paprika in the Machita line. I just love the colors in there, and I love single ply. And I thought maybe it was going to go with this eventually, but I don't know. I don't know what this is doing, but I love it. And then these skeins, whoop, this one's looking a little wild because it was part of my skein crown photo. But this is Ching Fibers, her Shangri-La line in the color Ember. And this was bought for me when my parents went to visit London. They went to Loop London and picked this up for me, so it's kind of like really precious, especially now that no one's traveling. Normally my parents travel a couple times a year out of the country and usually bring back yarn, but now no one's going anywhere. So this is extra special. Really, really love it. What are your suggestions for 2 skeins of single ply? I wanted to do something really special crochet with it, but I feel like it's easier to get away with limited amount of skein projects with knitting. So if you have ideas, I don't know, hit me up. I love shawls. How many shawls do I need? All of the shawls is the answer. Okay, and then these are more precious skeins from my parents' travels. This is just more, I don't quite know what to do with it. These 2 are in a ball because the donut, woohoo, no, don't fall, you're beautiful. The donut bit went wild, so they got rolled up. But this is when my parents went to Greece. This is a box store brand. I think it's from Turkey. Where are you from? I don't know, but it's a merino blend. And it's got quite a bit of yardage, total 228, so I have quite a bit of yardage. I need to swatch it up because normally I'm not a long, variegated color sort of person. So I really don't know what this is going to look like knit or crocheted up. And I definitely have enough to make something for my daughter, but I don't know if the color scheme is going to be something that is going to be like awesome in her wardrobe as a cardigan or something, because she doesn't have a lot of like mustardy green teal things. So I don't know. Again, give me suggestions. What can I make with this? Because that's really pretty and I can't really get more of it. So I want it to be a good project that I'm not going to have to play yarn chicken on. These are the same skeins. They're just rolled up differently. And then the true prize of my stash, hang on, one escaped. Come back here. Is, again, when my parents went to Loop London, they got me, you get out of here, you're distracting and rolly. That's unrelated, sort of. They got me these 4 skeins of Life in the Long Grass in the colorway Gorse. And I absolutely love it. It is like my ideal yellow. I've had a cardigan in mind for this, a crochet design. Literally since I sent them to get it. Like, I had requested and had been emailing with the shop owner, and she set these aside for me, and I business expensed it and everything. So I need to make something out of it, but it's just one of those things that, like, I know I can't get more, and it's really precious, so I want to make sure I have a plan so none of it goes to waste or gets damaged or anything. I feel like I need to do this yarn justice, so that's probably happening again in the fall, winter. Maybe for spring, have it as a spring cardigan. We shall see. And then this is another skein. I think this is a Lucky Strike. Nope, this is leather, actual colorway. That goes nicely with this. It's a fiber for the people, but I considered using this as maybe button band or like cuff. So we'll have to see how that sweater comes together, but that goes really beautifully with it. And if not, I will find a purpose. This kind of goes with this too. But I don't want to mix my fiber for the people with the box store yarn. So that's my yarn stash to date. We shall see what those things become. You'll probably see them in my feed eventually, so hold me accountable. If I said I was making something out of it, make sure I make it. Yeah, I definitely have a mix of yarns. I've been moving more towards the hand-dyed, but budget only allows for so much of that, and it's very precious. So I do still have a ton of acrylics and readily available in store. In my wardrobe definitely reflects that as well. I have a mix of both, and all the yarn definitely has a purpose. That was a horrible sentence, but yeah. Buy the yarn that you love, buy the yarn that you can afford, buy the yarn that isn't going to make you have to get a second mortgage on your house, and support handmade when you can. So that's my little yarn stash tour. Hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear more about your yarn stash. If you want to do a video, that'd be real cool. Once I have the room redone, I will take you on another final tour, but for right now, I hope you enjoyed that. If you like this video, you can give the video a like, you can subscribe to this channel, and you can turn on the notifications so that you are notified every time I upload a new video. Thanks guys for coming, and until I see you again, happy making, my friends. Bye.